Welcome back one last time to Big Brother NSFW. We have crossed the finish line in this season that began as an odyssey months ago, and we maybe expected everything that happened, but this season has been so much fun, and I'm so glad we're here one more time on finale night. We've had some incredible guests on Big Brother NSFW, and I think this show has been way more fun than what CBS was putting out there, and we're going to do it one more time. We have Jillian Parker from BB22 joining us tonight to talk about Cody's epic win, and maybe more importantly, Davon's America's Favorite Player win. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Amazing.
Amazing. I have never looked forward to a finale more in my entire life in the history of episodic television.
Just because you wanted it to be over?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. but truth be told, it was bittersweet. This was by far the best episode of the season. No contest.
I loved it. I was not exactly thrilled. I was like, fuck, man, had a long day. I'm tired. Watched The Amazing Race, but I was entertained from beginning to end. And this is my first journey watching Big Brother. I've never really watched. I watch it here and there, as I've talked about. Obviously, Survivor's my deal. But I loved it, and I really enjoyed how the whole jury stuff goes. Their interaction and them talking. I thought it actually is almost more entertaining. People are going to kill me for this, but just the interaction with the jury and how the finale goes, it's kind of like better than some of the Survivor finales and final jury deals. You know what I mean?
I'm sharpening my knives, man. If you want to for that, I'm ready to start.
I am very anti the final juries. I mean, like, there's been some hits and misses with the Survivor final jury questioning. Mm-hmm. However, I think the format through and through is better on Survivor. I mean, the fact that, Danny promised us, these hard questions, I'm just like, cool. So I guess those happen on a later show that we didn't get to see this evening because it's.
But I like hearing them talk. Like, for example, like we don't like it would be so interesting to have cameras sometimes at Ponderosa hearing people talk about the final gameplay and Survivor.
Oh, that part is much better.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if we could have a look at the Ponderosa go in those final episodes going into that and I think that's the reason that they don't get the whole long drawn out final jury is because you're seeing that along the way in those final episodes. It would just be repetitive to see those same conversations repeated. So I understand the format, in that, it's a 45-second, quick Q&A deal on the final deal, which I really don't think sways anyone one way or the other.
No.
And I don't really think a 30-minute answer on Survivor really sways anyone one way or the other either. Like, we talked about it on the last podcast. Most jury members have made their decision before that last night. Mm-hmm. So there might be some people in which it's like, okay, I'm either here or here based on who wins that final immunity challenge. However, once I know who won that, I've made my decision, and more than likely you're not going to get swayed. But I am with you, Matt. I like the format of Big Brother in that the weeks leading up to this final episode, we have a pretty good idea, minus some creative manipulation by production to maybe shift the focus one way or another and give someone a chance that potentially doesn't really have a chance. Mm-hmm. But I think for the most part, we kind of saw what the jury was thinking in that you want to win this game, you get out Cody, and if Cody's there, he's probably going to win. Right. And not only did he win, he won 9-zip.
Yeah. Which is not surprising, but do you think that Nicole would have had any votes whatsoever?
Yes.
Like, you think it would be like, what do you guys think about that? Would she have had a shot of winning?
Yes, I think that personally, I kind of know her personality, and even right before she got eliminated, I said, if I know Nicole, she already has a speech in her head that she's rehearsed 500 times that she's going to lay it on them. And when she got eliminated, she was like, yeah, I had the speech ready and everything. So, I mean, I
she
think
did. We saw it on
ready.
feeds. We saw it on
Yeah.
feeds. She practicing over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how I don't know if she would have beat him by a lot of votes, but I think she could have been very close.
Well, you heard when they had the final jury member coming out and Julie said, who are you guys thinking it's going to be? Davon spoke up and said, if they're smart, they'll cut Nicole. And there was almost unanimous nodding. So I think that we as viewers and all the super fans on Twitter and everyone are saying, yeah, Cody was running away with this thing. But I think perception might have skewed towards Nicole a little bit with that jury.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we cast our votes on the Monday night episode, and you know, with 5 of us, I think it was 3-2 Nicole over Cody.
Yeah.
So in other words, though, I mean, that's a testament that Cody's a smart player for getting her out.
Oh, he absolutely did the right thing.
So that makes him, I mean,
Yeah.
completely, if anyone had any question of voting, you know, for him to win the game, that sealed the deal. I mean, the thing that I like about, you know, hearing him talk is like owning the fact that, and I didn't watch his first time playing, but the fact that he changed his gameplay. Because in Survivor, a lot of people will play the same game. Same game twice.
And Matt, in this case, also one of the biggest things Cody changed was this decision. He came in second because he took the wrong person to the final 2.
Yep.
And I feel like he was not going to make that decision again. So, and I was surprised by it, but it was absolutely the right decision.
Yeah, we would have had this amazing situation if he would have taken Nicole potentially, where it's Groundhog Day and Cody does the exact same thing as last time, and he comes in second because he chose the wrong person. Enzo comes in third again because he went to the final 3 with the wrong pair, and Nicole wins against someone who maybe played better than her. Yeah. It would be exactly all their past seasons come to fruition again.
And getting back to your point, Jillian, you know, like not only is Nicole's final speech potentially better than Cody's if Cody takes Nicole. In addition, I think the jury looks at Cody and says, this guy didn't learn. He made the same mistake again. I'm not going to reward, like, I don't care how good this guy played this season. If he makes the same mistake twice, he doesn't deserve this $500,000 prize.
Yeah, I agree. And Enzo couldn't have made it any easier for him. He's like, I was using this guy the whole time.
He was so good. Let me tell you how good he was,
he
yo.
kept winning things. He was winning. I'm like, oh my God, you're making it worse for yourself.
Yeah, I don't think, like, as much as Nicole may have practiced her speech, I don't think Enzo practiced his.
Really?
Yeah, definitely not. I think he was planning on getting cut, honestly. I'm watching on the live feeds, it seemed like he knew it was going to come, that he was going to be done, and that was his last chance, basically. So he was very surprised that he took him to the final 2.
Well, he says, and I this was from the live feeds last night, and it was so funny because, like, I'm sitting, and it was just like his big move speech. All right, so here's what he says last night at 11:04 p.m. Enzo in the love room talking to his ex-wife. Tell the kids that when one of these dodos cuts me tomorrow, they had to do it. And then make them turn away because I'm going to go off on whoever cuts me. No more Mr. Nice Guy. That's it, Joelle. Tell them they had to cut Daddy because if he went, he would have won the money. They were scared. And I feel bad for whoever cuts me. I don't think Cody would, but we'll see. No more Mr. Nice Guy. And I sit there and read it. I'm just like, oh, he's going to make big moves. And what he says, I'm like, he's not going to do anything. I'm like, Joelle, don't tell the kids to leave because he's not going to. This is like every empty promise he's made all season.
But I tell you what, Enzo, for me, was the most entertaining character of the season up until the final seconds of the finale when it ended. I love the fact that you hear his microphone talking to Cody saying, man, what are they laughing at me? Cody's like, dude, they're not, you're just Enzo, bro. And he kept saying it over and over, and that proves how much of if I meet Enzo, that is the guy that I expect to meet.
You do.
And he
he's
seems like
fantastic.
an awesome guy. And props to Cody for winning. I mean, looking at him, for someone like myself who's played Survivor and that loves the game of Survivor, to see him own his strategy, his social game, being able to break everything down, I think he couldn't have spoken better or made a better case for why he was deserving to win Big Brother. I mean, some say like maybe he's a boring character or whatever, but well-deserved win from my opinion.
Absolutely. They're both true. I mean, I've been saying all season, I've been calling him boring white guy, and he's still boring white guy, but he absolutely knows how to play. But he knows how to play this game. And that's why, like I said, I think he looked at the situation because we all thought he was taking Nicole. Nicole obviously thought he was taking Nicole. And I also thought he was taking Nicole. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at some point he looked at this situation and said, I'm not going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah. And Nicole never definitively said that she would have taken Cody. Like when Julie Chen's Moonves, when Julie Chen Moonves is questioning Nicole, she was like, you seem surprised. And she's like, you've been talking under your breath. And she kind of, sort of says that she would have taken Cody, but she doesn't definitively say she would have taken Cody. And I'm thinking she would not have taken Cody.
Right.
I think they both were giving each other lip service, but they're both too good of players and too smart to have actually taken the other to the end.
Yeah. So, but she does like kind of a walk around in her conversation with Jill, kind of, saving face and because, she wasn't the one. I found myself, and well, first of all, it was a vinyl challenge, and I'm looking over here at over 2,000 vinyl records in my collection. I'm just like, oh my God, a vinyl, how cool is this? This is so awesome. And I was rooting on Nicole so hard. And I felt she had the advantage going in, but at the same time, we've gotten clues that Cody, when it comes to stuff like this, is a lot smarter than he leads on. And when she fell behind, not only was I rooting for her to catch up because, I wanted to see what she was going to do more so than what Cody would do. I just thought it was better television. But even more so, I'm just like, I want this thing to tie up and go to overtime. And I just like, as a viewer, I just want the best television possible. And I think a sudden death is in a final HOH is the best television that we could have gotten as viewers.
And we almost got it. I mean, some of those questions, I knew Nicole generally really knows her stuff, and Cody does too. And some of those questions were hard.
Yeah.
Was Tyler's, BB Comics wearing a cape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Tyler could have answered that.
Now, maybe if I was in the house and I played the comp and I'd been staring at these pictures, maybe I would know. But I was like, who the hell is going to know that?
Well, they
both did.
Right.
It's not like those comics are still there, because if you follow the Hearts of Reality social media feeds, they sent those painting things to Florida to auction off. So they'll be available for auction this week. Those illustrations.
That's really cool.
Like the copies, or you're saying the real one? The
real ones.
The real ones. Oh, okay.
The ones from the competition. They arrived. They sent a Big Brother sent a box. Production sent a box to Omar, who runs Give Kids the World Village and works with Michael Nunez at Hearts of Reality. They sent a box, and it had a bunch of the BB comics from this season and a few from last.
Others, yeah.
Yeah, there was some from last season, and Janelle's star punishment costume.
Oh, I want that. I want that so bad.
I love Janelle. Oh my gosh.
If you don't get that, Karen, and wear that for every BB Canada podcast, I will be disappointed.
Maybe we should increase my salary, John, and then we'll talk. I mean, I have a feeling that it's going to be way out of my budget, but I'm absolutely going to bid on it because I'd love to have that thing.
Heck yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning of the episode. We have the one-on-one showdown with Enzo and Cody, and I was in tears laughing at.
This time they were laughing at Enzo. We were all laughing at Enzo.
Yes, we are not laughing with you. We aren't laughing at you right now.
I could not. I was just like the like when he got up there, he's just like, yo, camera, yo, pigs, and a screen. And I'm just like, don't even read the instructions, Enzo. Just do what you think this competition is. Your time will probably be even faster if you just envision what you think you need to do to win this, and nothing else. And he might have done better.
But it really was amazing, though, 4 minutes. Because like when Enzo said, it's going to be 11, 12 minutes, that's a decent guess for how long these things often take. The fact that he did that in less than 5 minutes.
Which made it so much worse because, he's just like, Enzo set himself up for failure. He comes there, he's just like, oh, just get it over with. Just show it. And, it's like 37 minutes. And he's just like, he goes, oh, Mr. 15, Mr. 13 minute, yo, right? Just go ahead and show his 15, 13 minutes. And it's like, oh, no, it's immensely worse than that.
I really felt for him.
He did 4 times better than you thought he did when you thought he destroyed you.
I love Julie. Julie and her sign off from that clip to commercial says Enzo loses the HOH and his cool.
My favorite part of this episode, more than the strategy or anything else, was so Enzo loses, has a tantrum, understandable. We go to commercial. We come back to more of Enzo's tantrum.
Oh, yeah.
What did he do to production to make them want to throw him under the bus this bad?
Yeah. Oh, and even better was, it's just like, I blew it. I knew I proved everybody right. They knew I was horrible. And he goes, guys, I'm not going to campaign. You heard it here. No campaigning. I ain't getting neither one of you worry about it, yo. No campaigning. And then, we come back. He's still beating himself up. And then 2 segments later, yo, you can't beat Cody, yo. Just a little campaigning, yo.
No, I really like him. I met him at the BB20 they had where all of us went, and so I met him there, and I said, "Oh my God, the meow meow," and he said, "Oh, you remember me? You remember me? I was on like years and years ago. I'm like a dinosaur." I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Of course I remember you." So when I saw he was on this season, I was hoping he would make it to the end. So good for him.
He's so likable. I mean,
Yeah, I also have to point out that this is the second time in 2020 that we have had an all New Jersey finale of a CBS reality show.
They're wow.
All 3 in Winners at War, and both of the finalists here are from New Jersey.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
So that's what's wrong with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just thinking about when you're talking about the votes and stuff, especially when you think about when you play for the first time, you definitely vote from a more emotional standpoint, like, oh, well, you said this to me or you said that. But then going out and then coming back in, people don't respect you if you don't vote for the best player, I feel like. So, I mean, he definitely deserved the win. But what do you guys feel about that? Like, do you think that's true? Or do you think that, you know what I'm saying? Almost like you feel bad if you don't vote for him because people on the outside are going to shame you for it.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, like when you play the first time, you're playing on raw emotion and you've never done it before and you've never had that spotlight. You may have been a recruit and really don't know what you're doing, or you may have been a fan, but it's just like, I was in this headspace. I didn't think Survivor was going to be like this, or I didn't think Big Brother was going to be like this. My emotion said this. Mm-hmm. You get back and and you have your best friend and your aunt and your boss. It's just like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like they fucking played twice the fucking this isn't a fucking popularity contest. This is who played the best game, and you had one fucking job. You didn't win. Your job was to pick the best motherfucker that played the game and give that person the money, and you couldn't do that. Like, I think there is this undue pressure in addition to, hey, okay, I may have fucked up my vote the first time I played. I may not have. However, I can go in knowing what to expect and knowing, with my love of the game, how I should honor the game and pick not what my heart says, but who the best person is, and especially in an all-star type format.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
and David.
If no, if you had asked each member of the jury, right, who do you like better? I think Enzo might have won that.
Sure.
Right.
But like you said, this is all stars, and as much as these people like Enzo, there really wasn't an argument that he played a better game.
Yeah, I
that's
think like
definitely
going
true.
back to Matt, I won't kill you anymore because I agree with you that seeing those Jerry segments before I hate the canned questions the production writes for them. I love seeing their thought process. I love that 100%. And I think speaking to Enzo, Memphis said, did he change? Is that his game or is that just Enzo? Like, is he actually even playing or is he just being himself? And I think that says a lot about his game.
Right. I mean, dude, Enzo, like I said, we lost a lot of people like Janelle and Kaser at the beginning, people that I thought would have, made great TV and kind of shake things up. There wasn't a lot of huge wow game moves, but I think, Enzo was not the most strategic player, and he was just Enzo. But that's why he's so lovable and why everyone's laughing. They're not, laughing at him. They're just laughing because, dude, you're a fucking you just want to go have a beer and just hang out with that dude. I want to hang out with Enzo and fair play and just have a good time. So if I'm Enzo, I would be 100% stoked on the outcome of this. And you could tell how unbelievably appreciative and what a kind-hearted guy Enzo was by his reaction to Cody for taking him to the end of the game. And I think that moment was winning for Enzo.
Yeah. Enzo played the best game Enzo could play.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't think there's anything there's more he could have said, but it probably wouldn't have swayed anymore. I think he could have been a little more articulate. But as you said, Matt, for Enzo, that was a win. He wasn't winning any more comps. He could have got rid of Nicole at the triple, would have been the only major difference. But he's second place is the highest he get. I take that back. The only way Enzo wins towards the end if it's him and Christmas in the final two. And that's it. That was the only inroad for Enzo to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Cody said something which I found really, when he was talking about, the first time I played, like he was just kind of, wanted to get along with everybody, and he let Derek basically take care of the strategy. And maybe not quite to the same extent, but you could argue that Enzo did the same thing with Cody. But the difference is same thing. He played a second game, and what did he did? The same thing. He found the big guy. He jumped on his back, right? All of that's great. And that will get you to the end of the game. But it's not a way to win. Generally.
Well, it got him to second versus third. I mean, as I said, that was I think Enzo, in his heart of hearts, just wanted to improve upon what he did before. And a second place finish is an improvement.
Right. But Cody wanted to improve on what he did, so he ripped his game apart and figured out how to change it. Whereas Enzo just really, really, really wanted to feel like he did better.
Yeah, Karen, I wrote the same thing on my notes. I thought that Cody missed like an absolute death blow in that jury questioning when he said, I used to play a really social game and Derek did all my strategy. I think he could have looked directly at Enzo and been like, I found my Cody. I'm the Derek now. Like, done.
Even if he thought of it, though, I don't know if he would have, because he was being very careful not to attack Enzo.
Yeah.
Because I also think he didn't have to. So look like the good guy.
Plus, Janny had said to some of them that Janelle, she had said that, that they had a preseason alliance.
You're muted.
Thanks. Sorry, there was a call. Sorry. No, but
Oh,
I
okay.
do feel like if he maybe threw that out there, like, oh, well, I'm the Derek, it almost is like people are going to think, oh, what about that preseason alliance? And it might have hurt him. I don't know. Because Janelle was telling some of them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think mentioning Derek as little as possible was beneficial for Cody. I think Cody didn't want people thinking about his first game. He wanted all isolation and all eyes on this game. And mentioning Derek subtracts from that. He played about as flawless a game as you could have played.
Yeah, I mean, not even being nominated one time and he was winning challenges. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and convincing Enzo not to nominate him when Enzo should have. I mean, like it was, like Enzo's last and only HOH. Well, when Enzo's like, hey, neither one of us have been on the block. Like if I put you on the block, it's just so I could have one thing going into the finals if I happen to be in the finals. And Cody's like, yeah, we'll talk about that. As in, no, you're not even going to do that. And it's just like, wow, that's mastery. That is pure mastery of the game. When Enzo's argument is like, I got nothing else. Just give me this one. You still probably beat me, but just give me one thing to mention to the jury. It's just like, hey, I was never on the block. I'm the only person this season that was never on the block. And Cody even took that away from him. He's like, nope, you don't get that.
Mm-hmm. Now, how devastating? I mean, I know this is a dumb question, but Nicole was, wow. She took this extremely, extremely hard. Like just the
probably
raw.
saw a mirror and saw that outfit she was wearing.
But the raw.
I
think
like
it's
that
gonna.
outfit. I thought it was cute.
Well, Leslie Knope is a great dresser, and a lot of people like Parks and Rec. But,
It's better than the gingham, right? You remember what she wore when she won?
Yeah, the plaid. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
the plaid.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, she took it very, very hard. I think it's between, losing and then now the aftermath of losing some of her endorsements or whatnot. Man, I wonder if she's going to be like, I just want to escape from all things Big Brother for a while. Or do you think she would jump back on a chance to play again if she had the opportunity?
I think that she would play again because I know that she's like a major fan. So I think she would play it over and over and over until she won again. That's just my opinion. And just never go online ever again. Never go on Twitter ever again.
But I think if she did play again, we would get an even more reserved and more not owning their stuff, even more so than we saw this time. Because, of course, she had no idea what happened sponsorship wise, but seeing what happened there, I think she's like, geez, so in her head, she would be like, if I played again, I would have to be an emotionless robot. That if anyone's laughing at anything that could be particularly misconstrued a certain way, I can't be a part of that. I can't be a part of anything that could risk anything. And I think that we see just a shadow of herself that I have no desire to see play.
No, I started the season off a big Nicole hater, and over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've done a complete 180 to the point that I was rooting for her. And I thought tonight she was the most likable because none of this felt scripted, none of this felt rehearsed. This was raw emotion. This was actually Nicole. You could even hear her voice wasn't so whiny when she was talking. It was like a real voice.
Yeah. It's true. So Zach, let's take a quick break and come back and let's break down this season and our overall thoughts.
This episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon. And let me tell you, I'm about to turn 30 years old. It's about that time I start cutting down on carbs, sugar, unhealthy food. And I realized I basically can't eat anything anymore. That's where Magic Spoon comes in. Tell them about it, Johnny.
Oh man, 0 grams of sugar. 11 grams of protein. That's right, 11 grams of protein and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. What am I talking about? Magic Spoon. 4 delicious flavors previously: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. What was my favorite? It was the frosted. But boom! What am I looking at right now? This is the greatest week of my life. I'm looking at brand new peanut butter Magic Spoon and honey nut. Oh man. tomorrow. I'm having both. I am so excited. I'm breaking all the rules. You heard me correct. 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein, only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free, and taste amazing. The most important part, honestly, too good to be true. You can join me. Be like just me. Try those new flavors as well. Where do they go, Zach?
Go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in this product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked, but you're going to like it. That's magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR for free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast.
Any fool can climb a wall or crawl through sand, but as every fan knows, Survivor challenges are won or lost at the puzzle. The most successful players are puzzle masters, and you can be one too. Fair play. Perplexers Puzzles creates handmade miniature replicas of many of Survivor's greatest and most challenging puzzles. Find out if you have what it takes by visiting the Perplexers Puzzle store on Etsy or simply visiting survivorpuzzle.com. Enter promo code FAIRPLAY, FAIRPLAY, at checkout for a 10% discount. And let me tell you, I'm hanging out on my patio on these beautiful summer nights. I have Zach Hacker coming over to my house, and we did the fire puzzle, the season 40 puzzle. I got the tree puzzle, and Zach was like, dude, these things are fucking awesome. So if you are a fan of Survivor, as Zach is, and I know he has a true, authentic Survivor puzzle that I have personally done, these Perplexers puzzles are the real deal. So go to survivorpuzzle.com right now, enter promo code FAIRPLAY at checkout for a 10% discount, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
And we are back. Guys, I want to talk about the final HOH comp because I really loved it. I usually hate these video things they put together, and I thought it was so hilarious how they were able to delineate all the jury personalities into a genre of music. Who knew? But my favorite was clearly the one that was a big question mark for them. Clearly, Christmas is Christmas music. Tyler's surf rock. David is rookie rock.
Rookie rock.
That was cute.
What band would you guys say David most sounds like?
Ooh,
Milli Vanilli.
I was going to go with one of those one-hit wonder metal hair metal bands, like like a Britney Fox, maybe. But not a Cinderella, not a Motley Crue, of course. But yeah,
No.
like maybe Kip Winger, Winger, Bullet Boy. Yeah. So something in the lower genre of.
Speaking of David, he seemed real nervous when he didn't really say much when he went and put his key in there and cast his vote or whatever. You could tell he was kind of like, man, this is heavy, because everyone else had something to
You have
say.
not seen Big Brother Canada, but there is an awesome moment in the first season of Big Brother Canada where one of the jurors votes for the wrong person. And as the host is reading the votes, because this person had never seen Big Brother and had no idea what was going on, they voted to evict the person they didn't want to win, but it was the vote for them. So it would actually ended up being the deciding vote. So I was seeing Twitter blow up of, is David going to pull a Topaz? And
Chuck didn't Chuck Liddell do that on Celebrity Big Brother? Didn't he vote the wrong person?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
I feel like Chuck Liddell voted the wrong person, and Meta World Peace had some kind of blunder as well. I know he showed his key and everything else, and he potentially voted the wrong person as well.
Wow.
So, but I don't think it was that close to where it really made a difference. But pretty sure Chuck Liddell voted the wrong person.
I'm not sure that Meta World Peace actually understood that he was in the Big Brother house. I was going to he did, because he kept trying to escape from it, so he must have known. But
Meta World Peace was
he was fantastic TV.
Oh, he was the best. He was the highlight of the season, I think. So, but we were chatting after that on Twitter. Like he had started a Twitter account because of Big Brother, and was just like, oh, I want to talk, and then just disappeared just from the ashes of which he came.
Yeah, I think when we look back on this season, we will have very fond recollections of David and his final jury segment when he asks, "What is jury management?"
Yes.
You can't even write that.
That epitomized David's gameplay right there. What is jury management? And are they hiring?
Oh.
is there an apprenticeship that I could potentially sign up for?
But there's an argument he didn't need to know that, right? Because it only becomes relevant if you make the final two.
Yeah. Or have any desire to know anything about how the game is played. But, rewinding back to, the first week in which he asked how the power of veto works.
Look, we spent a lot of time this season shitting on David, but, compared to most of the rest of these people in the house, I certainly like him more than I like 3/4 of this cast at this point. And he gave us some actual, fun in the house, such as it was.
Yeah, probably top 4 as far as likability.
Mm-hmm.
So, gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, he
bottom
definitely
4
should
of all time.
have watched something. You know what I mean? Like he said, "Oh, I didn't even watch." I mean, I like him, but I'm saying that he should have at least watched a couple, like a little bit, so he knew what was going on. And
his own season would have been a good start.
Yeah, he could have finished the season.
It's hard. I do have to say, I feel like it's hard to watch your own season because you judge yourself, but he should have watched something. I mean, just so he could get an idea, because I'm sorry, but his gameplay, I was like, what are you doing? But then again, he was on the block like 90% of the time too. So I wish it was hard.
I wish he had watched BB 6 or 7 so that he would have at least known who Janelle and Kaser were, and then potentially worked with them.
Right. Yeah.
that may have helped.
One season, I don't care if you watch BB9, right? At least he would have known more about how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you go back and look, his greatest ally in the house was Tyler, bar none, no contest. Number 1, Tyler, number 2, Davon. And
Davon tried so hard to be a good ally to him.
Yeah, and I think he worked against those two potentially more than any other house guest this season.
I want to ask you guys something. We see a lot of hugs. Like it for me, 2020 has been so crazy. The world is in a crazy spot. A lot of people aren't able to hug their friends and social distancing. So to see everyone kind of embrace and celebrate this finale night was actually pretty cool. Who do you think is going to have the most kind of, the most salty person out of the bunch after this is all said and done? Seems like a lot of them are like, oh, we'll let it slide. This is a game. But who do you think is going to be the most bitter after this night?
Just because I know her, because she was on my season, Christmas. That's just my opinion. That's her personality, and she doesn't let things go. And I could just see her being like that.
She voted for Cody, though, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah. But she had to get her remark in before she did it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Bailey, I think she's had her sourpuss moments for every time they've brought her back for something since she was evicted. It was, she'll smile about something, but then she has something negative to follow with
yeah. Janelle too. I think Bailey and Janelle are going to be bitter till the day they die, and that's fine.
I also wonder with Danny, when she really finds out for just how long Cody was, more than willing to get rid of her, like for weeks and weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She might want to take that vote back.
Salty Paul in our chat just says Danny will be the most salty. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, as far as just in general, I don't pay attention to the whole Twitter beef with people. Has there been like a lot of backlash toward Danny? I know there is some drama and stuff, Johnny, like with Evil Dick and all this stuff. Like, what is the deal with all that?
I don't think Danny's got a ton. I mean, like, I think Danny entered the game as one of the more likable players in the history of Big Brother, and I think she also entered as one of the best players in the history of Big Brother. And the fact that she didn't finish that well worked against her legacy a little bit there, but it wasn't for lack of trying and lack of putting the pedal down. So I don't think that's going to go against her, but I think her likability, she joined up with the bad guys. I mean, like, this is someone that, was friends with Janelle going into the game, bought her her finale dress to wear for her. I mean, like, there was almost like a sisterhood, and and the fact that it didn't appear as though there was even a potential second of them working together, and for all the fan love of Janelle, I think that there was some backlash there. So
I think the bigger issue is going to be.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say. No. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say about old school. I think a lot of people just expected her to go with the old school players. And then when she didn't, people were thinking, what the hell is going on, basically, is what I took from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about like the long-term impact of people's, legacies or whatever, I feel like the biggest issue with Dani is not that, she went out where she did, but like I said, but that she got so badly for so long. I would have thought that, the Dani Donato I know would have not fallen for that.
Yeah. And she was at the bottom of that pecking order, when the committee was ready to make their moves, it was obvious that she was going to be the first to go, and she felt like the only person that wasn't aware of that.
Now, our good friend
legacy hits are going to be mostly to Dani and Tyler. I think most of the other people improved their game rep because these were a lot of kind of unrespected while high finishing players.
Sure.
With those two being exceptions. But I think in terms of, it's a different story of who's going to be most salty, not like how their game's perceived, but how their personality's perceived. And I think Dani's kind of going to get hit with a double barrel on those two things.
Yeah. Now, what I was going to say, Johnny, Memphis, we've talked a lot this season. Myself has stated that I thought Memphis was a cocky asshole a lot of the times in this game.
Dani, John, nobody's buying that T-shirt, Johnny. You can stop.
Real quick,
Matt, wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
T-shirt available at johnnyfairplay.com. Don't forget, with every T-shirt purchase, you can get a phone call from me, Johnny Fairplay. You can be the fourth person to own a commission T-shirt, one half of the winning team of Big Brother 22.
But I think Memphis, like tonight, watching him kind of talk amongst the jury and just his reaction, he seemed like the guy that we went out and ate sushi with. Yep. He seemed a lot cooler now than he did. You know what I mean? Like, so looking back, I think, we talked a lot how, oh man, Memphis, but overall, I think Memphis is not as bad as people might think. I mean, I don't know. What is your kind of opinion, Jillian, on Memphis? Johnny and I got to hang out with them. We saw a super cool side of Memphis. We saw a different side of Memphis in this game. What's kind of your opinion on him?
I think that based on what I have seen through the episodes and through the live feeds, I think that he seems like kind of arrogant. But he could be outside the game. People are totally different. So I think he could be a nice guy outside of the game. But I think that he would do whatever it takes to win. But I also think that because a lot of people thought he was kind of an asshole, that they might have thought about taking him to the end because people might not have voted for him because people were perceiving him as the asshole. Just like in my season with Paul and Josh, like, it's like, what's the lesser of the two evils kind of situation. But I thought he was a really good player, and he did make moves and, tried to do what he could. So
now, do you like his denim shirts that he wears? The blue.
Oh, he might have one-upped him. Did you see the pants he was wearing in the jury segment?
No.
Oh boy, he was wearing some floodwaters in the jury.
Oh boy,
I love it.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good. I mean, I thought he looked good, but Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as far as what I've seen, I think he's probably a good guy outside of the game. Definitely people were perceiving him online as a big asshole.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was just the way he was treating people. He was just like very dismissive, you know.
Yes.
And like I said, if I meet him, I will probably like him. Besides the fact that you guys met him, every time I dislike somebody on one of these shows and then I meet them, I end up feeling bad because they're really nice, you know. So I'm not.
That's true.
But certainly based on what I saw on TV, I'd rather hang out with Enzo.
Real quick, going back.
Yeah, between the two, I would say the same.
Yeah. Kyler Mellon says, Meta voted out Chuck, and he wanted to keep Chuck.
Sounds about right.
Great moment.
What do you do then? Wait.
Whoopsies. Meta World Peace. God, why was Meta World Peace not in All Stars?
That's a great question.
There's so
they
many
should have
people
put
from
Ross,
those two.
Ross Matthews. I love him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as Cody winning, from your guys' perspective, how does he rank just as a winner in general? Because an all-star season, I know a lot of people wish like other people would have been on this cast, but Cody's in the cast. Is he considered one of the greats? If there's a legend season, does he fit that category? Is he just a run-of-the-mill winner for you guys?
It's really hard to
think
classify. I feel like he. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I totally stopped talking because I want to hear what you say first.
in case this is better.
I do not put him anywhere near some of the elite winners. I think he played an elite game, but I think an all-star game always has to have an asterisk next to it. There's just too many outside factors. Like, look at the original game that Dan came in and played and won 9-0. Like, look at Dr. Like, he's not up there. He's certainly not up there. He had to play once, fail, and then come back. But if you look at this game individually, then I think it has to be like top 5 winning game. But is he an elite winner? I wouldn't say so.
What are you going to say, Jillian?
No, I was just gonna say that I do think that, like he said, probably one of the top 5, only because nobody really did Janelle and Kaiser were targeting him, but as far as nominating him and going on the block, he never went on the block, and he also did win competitions versus if you're comparing him to Enzo. But I feel like because he cut Nicole, it gave him more credibility. Had he took Nicole, I don't think he would have been as up there as a winner, because it just was so predictable. And the fact that he did cut Nicole gave him more of an edge as a winner for his speech, I think.
Yeah.
I just feel like he really controlled this game from beginning to end. So no, is he Dr. Will or Dan? No, right? Because this is the second game, not the first, right? Big difference winning 9-0 the second time you play. But it was a really, really solid game. I mean, I would say so, knock off, like I said, the real greats, the Dans. I mean, is he better than Derek? Well, no, because Derek did it the first time. But
also very boring. So
Right.
he got that right.
Right. Well, look, he watched Derek, and I'm assuming he was coached by Derek, and he learned the lessons well. And I'm assuming that Memphis, well, more than assumed, I think we've heard that, Memphis was coached by Dan, and Memphis certainly learned, but not to the extent that Cody learned.
Yeah, and I think the truth of Cody's game was told to us when Julie asked him what he was going to spend the money on, and he was doing some quick math in his head of how much money he actually gets. Because he has to pay payouts to Dan, to Derek, to Memphis, to Danny.
Nicole.
It's not hard to spend $45,000, Julie.
Yeah, I think he was like, shit, Enzo ended up with more money than me. How'd that happen?
That's funny.
For me personally, I think Cody played one of the best games I've seen in the history of Big Brother. However, I think you're also judged by your season, and this is a bottom 5 season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like there was no excitement, no moments. I mean, like the best episode of the season was the finale, and it wasn't like there was this build. Like it's just like, oh my god. It was just like, oh, let this end. Oh wow, this is a fun episode. I wish any of the others would have been remotely this good. So I will read this real quick. Us Weekly interviewed Dr. Will, I believe yesterday, and Dr. Wills asked, where do Dan and Derek and other winners stack up? And Dr. Wills says, if I'm being truly sincere, my name is at the top of the list in block letters written with a black Sharpie. There's a huge space on the page, and Dan and Derek's names appear in blue Bic pen about halfway down. Dan's just slightly ahead of Derek's, and at the bottom of the piece of paper are the names of all the other winners lumped together, written in unsharpened number 2 pencils and broken rainbow crayons.
Oh. Oh my God.
So if you're wondering how great Dr. Will is, he explained it to all of you. Pay fucking attention, folks.
Oh, Evil Dick must have loved that. I'm just trying to think who else would he really pissed off, who thinks that they...
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot too about Cody's game, because Cody's game relied so much on comp wins. All these other games rely so much on comp wins. I think Dr. Will's the only person who's won the game without winning HOHs in competitions.
Yeah.
For having a social game.
Yeah, it's amazing gameplay. Just truly amazing. So, but as I said, like, also look back, like, Dr. Will was on fun seasons. He was a fun, over the top, dynamic player on fun seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that means so much. Like, this season will go down, as I said, probably bottom 5.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think about the America's Favorite House Guest? Are you surprised that it was between Tyler and Davon?
Oh, I'm so glad I stopped voting for Davon. That was exhausting. But, yeah, it was great.
I thought it was going to be between Janelle and Davon, but just because Janelle was donating the money to charity and stuff like that. But I also think that shows the people that follow the Twitter, that follow the live feeds, that follow the Twitter sphere, and follow like the Reddits and the Facebook groups, that have their opinions. Those are so isolated compared to the big picture that there's just this vast number of casual fans that watch 1 or 2 episodes a week. And those people are like, I like Tyler. He's got the curly hair and he seems really cute and nice.
Yeah.
And that's a vote.
Yeah.
I was very, very happy for Davon, though. And I think she was actually shocked that she won.
Yeah.
I was happy for her.
I was happy for her too. So, but I thought that the Big Brother community was more internet engaged, and I think that's more perception than quote unquote reality. Because I think if that were the case, I think it's easily Davon and Janelle. Probably Davon still winning, but Janelle number 2.
Yes.
The fact that you had a guy that attempted to quit and was just not allowed to quit is even in the running. I think it speaks volumes to the fact that there's a lot of casual fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a difference across social media platforms as well, because I didn't see any Janelle vote hype, and I stay off Facebook almost entirely. I'm staying on Reddit and Twitter, and I was pretty much just seeing Tyler and Davon. So that's interesting.
I'm super happy for Davon. Yeah, her reaction, she was totally shocked, and she didn't even know what to say. She just like, hey, I just want to get back to.
I just want to go see my kid. I want to go the fuck out of this fucking house.
And then they asked her, what are you going to spend it on? And it's like, she has a child.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not even going to answer that because I want to leave like 30 seconds sooner.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for me, you guys, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I watched the season with the exception of I did not watch when Memphis or Christmas got voted out. I missed that. But overall, I think that I will continue to watch Big Brother in the future on a newbie season. I like it, and I would like to give it another shot to see the game really played with some newbies. And if they have another season of returning players, I mean, I know you guys speak highly of Dr. Will, and I hear all these names popped out. It'll be interesting to see. Now, I always say, we're casting for Big Brother. Man, I don't know if I could play Big Brother. Like, even if I got a phone call like, hey, dude, we want you on Real Big Brother for 3 months. Man, that's a big time commitment. I don't know if any of you guys could pull it off. I know Johnny,
It's
you
more than
said
3 months. It's what 99 days. How many days in the house?
Yeah, it's right about there near 100.
99 days in the house, and then you're looking at 2 weeks sequester and quarantine, and
Right.
potentially a couple days before that
yeah.
Mhm.
to get them to quarantine status.
And it just seems like, and I could be wrong, but just it seems pretty brutal. The fan interaction, like all these message boards, and the fact that there's the live feeds. I don't know if I'd want to suscept myself to that amount of ridicule and shit with haters.
One thing to be said for getting a bad edit. There's another one. Someone has 24/7 round the clock footage of you.
Yeah.
And
And
this
BB Twitter is brutal. I mean, like I said, if you think Survivor fans can be harsh, and they can be, but there's nothing compared to a Big Brother fan. And I don't know if it's because the length of the game, or just, I guess, because you watch these people 24/7, you feel like you know them.
Yeah, you get it unedited, and every minute is isolated and analyzed. I mean, like there was a scene with this is of course live feeds, not on the actual show, and it's Janelle talking to Kaser, like she's on her bed, he's on his, and she's gassy, like she ate whatever she ate, and she's farting, and Janelle farted 4 times. Oh my God. Let's break it. And I'm just like, what? like this, like,
Get a fucking life, man.
Yeah.
You're analyzing this girl farting 4 times.
It always has made me wonder, though, once you see how many people in Big Brother are problematic, makes me wonder how many people have been covered by Survivor producers.
Mm-hmm.
Recovered for
tons.
saying things that they shouldn't have said, and it was just left on the editing room floor.
Mhm.
It's got to have happened.
Yeah.
I remember on Pro Islands there was an off-color comment that I was like, whoa, and not by me, shockingly. I mean, I wasn't PC, but at the same time, I was like, I knew where the line was, and I had both toes, both feet, both toes on, teetering. So, but there was a line, and I didn't expect production to show it. No, I don't even know if there was a camera there, but a Big Brother, there's always a camera there.
Mhm.
And I never heard a comment like that again. And I was happy. So, but that wasn't shown. As I said, I don't even know if they got the footage, but at the same time, like that person, I don't think they wanted to show that person in that light, and so they wouldn't. I mean,
Right.
What was it? Season 38. There was a very popular season 38 of Survivor. Of course, there was a very popular player that said a couple things that person shouldn't say, and it's kind of a piece of shit for saying it, and that wasn't shown.
So overall, the season is over with.
Woo!
And I know, but
Prayers answered.
I get my life back.
yeah.
And Matt, I'm so stoked you checked out Big Brother. I'm glad that you could see past the shit smeared season that we got. I'm glad we got a season at all. It was entertaining. I had fun at times. Also, I've been waiting 14 years for an all-star season, and this is what I get. I'm a little bitter. Not gonna lie, but
It's 2020. Come on.
yeah, it's what we get. But I'm glad Matt is in, and I hope that there is some sort of legend season and you get to see some real good Big Brother legends, or at least a newbie season where they, I think, take a good hard look at the Big Brother format and figure it out, because something has to change. It's been a few seasons that suck in a row, and it doesn't have to be this way. We can vary the comps so that power changes hands. We can cast better, more dynamic characters. We can spend more time on characterization than we do on production elements. There's so much they can do to stop being so complacent with the show. I hope we get there.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds to me like, CBS needs to get their act together, not only with Big Brother, but Survivor as well. a lot of fans bitch about the twist and all the different things that Survivor does. I think both shows could use just a little bit of an overhaul, and I think we're gonna get it. Like I said, I was, for the most part, I'm not regretting watching. I mean, I know I was kind of fighting tooth and nail at first, like you guys started the season podcasting. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm not. Don't count me out of this shit. Then I was like, yeah, man, like I'm gonna do it. So I'm glad I watched, and I am excited to see another season. And I did watch the Tom Green Celebrity Big Brother edition, which it was entertaining as well. And I got to follow that pink-haired Eva Marie or whatever the hell on Instagram. So that's a plus.
I think she has me blocked because I have not seen Eva Marie in my feeds in 2 years.
Now, with both Big Brother and Survivor, clearly we know that they have problems. And in both cases, the international versions are kicking the US version's ass. So it's not like they necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. They can just look around the world. But I don't think they ever will. Mm-hmm. Right. They're, we are, Survivor. I am Jeff Probst, right? I don't need to learn anything from, South Africa or Australia, right? Because we're the OG.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But they've gotten very complacent.
Yeah.
Eva Marie blocked me.
Oh no.
I was pretty mean about her douchebag boyfriend or whatever during the podcast.
Right.
That'll do it.
Well, he was probably running her Instagram.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was a good time, you guys, and I am glad that it's come to an end, and hopefully we have something to look forward to in 2021.
Yeah, it got renewed. I think today I saw the announcement it's renewed for another season. And, thank you to everybody for listening, for having fun with us. I am so impressed with the lineup of guests and some of the hilarious conversations we had with this Big Brother season. So I had a blast, and we will be covering Big Brother Canada once it rolls around in a couple months. So
let's let everyone know what we have in the pipeline here. So each and every Monday, Karen.
My show is Tuesday.
Each and every Tuesday
at noon Eastern.
Tuesday at noon Eastern. It's Karen Eisenberg and Professor Tim Wilson from the Circle UK, one of the most dynamic personalities there. They've been watching episodically Survivor, the US version of Survivor. They started with Survivor Borneo, made it all the way through the actual reunion special. They were joined by Richard Hatch in an insane episode. So you guys are now on to season 2 of Survivor, the Australian Outback. And you had 2 weeks ago, Jeff Varner in a very controversial episode. Mm-hmm. And who was this week's guest?
This week we're not going to talk about this week. It actually didn't happen. We are having a show on Friday, but normally we are Tuesday at noon.
Okay. So
next week we have Nicole Anthony.
Nicole Anthony next week.
Even though and it's very normally we have big obviously Survivor players, Survivor press. Nicole Anthony really is not a Survivor fan, but she really really wanted to do the show. So she's going to be kind of like Professor Tim, right? They're going to both be learning the game. That might be interesting.
I love it. So follow that. That is you can catch all those episodes at Survivor NSFW. We have ongoing coverage of The Amazing Race. For those of you that were expecting a podcast covering The Amazing Race tonight, it has been delayed until tomorrow at 9 p.m. We will be live talking tonight's episode of The Amazing Race, episode 3. And so for those of you wondering, and where is it? You will see it tomorrow night, 9 p.m. live, 9 p.m. Eastern, live here on youtube.com/Survivor NSFW.
And then going forward, we'll cover it after episode. Tonight we had Big Brother finale and Amazing Race, so a lot to juggle.
Yeah. So, but going forward, look for Zach, Karen, and a special guest each and every week covering Big Brother Canada, and then big announcement: We are Matt Bischoff and myself are going back in time, and we're going to start watching Australian Survivor Season 2, Episode 1, each week, watching an episode episodically all the way through. And so look for that in the next couple weeks. We are anxious to get started.
And if you don't have access to Australian Survivor or want to know how to watch that, become a patron. I'll have it all linked soon.
Yeah. Cool. So the links for all the episodes are available through our Patreon. Go to adfreensfw.com. We'll have links to where you can watch and discuss along with us afterwards. Once again, we have a weekly Q&A show that is our favorite podcast each and every week. We answer your questions, and we have a patron join us each and every week to co-host the show. It's a lot of fun. And we do a monthly Zoom call. And then I guess Thursday nights is trivia. So the patrons, they have a weekly Survivor trivia deal. So it's a lot of fun. Join us at adfreensfw.com. Try it for 1 month. I think you'll love it. If you don't, hit me up. I'll take care of you. So adfreensfw.com. Try it for a month. So, and very excited. For those of you that have missed Survivor, since we've been talking about Big Brother, we are going to watch Australian. A lot of you guys have never watched the Australian version. Matt and I have never seen season 2 of Australian Survivor. So it is new to us. Zach will be jumping in to explain some elements that we don't understand. I have watched.
Excited. It's my favorite season of Survivor, maybe ever. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
So I have watched Australian All Stars. So I consider that one of my top 3 seasons of all time. So
this one is I would argue just as good.
Yeah.
Different, but just as good.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to watch with Matt, and I'm excited to comment and wait for some of my friends from the Australian version of Survivor to be like, fair play, what the fuck are you thinking? You're an idiot. You don't understand. so because my US counterparts, they hit me up after the podcast and say the same exact thing. I'm talking to you, Wendell. So we're very stoked for those of you that missed Survivor. Here's a way to bring Survivor back into your lives, and you can follow along with us. So subscribe at Apple Podcast and Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you podcast to Survivor NSFW to get all this great content. But and get a t-shirt, of course, at johnnyfairplay.com. With every t-shirt purchase, you get a phone call from me, Johnny Fairplay, thanking you for your purchase. But most importantly, the best way to support the podcast is to become a patron. Go to adfreensfw.com. That's adfreensfw.com. Please try it for 1 month. We promise you'll like it. If not, hit me up. I'll take care of you. Thank you.
For one last time this year, thanks for listening to Big Brother NSFW. Good night, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
2020 has been the year of things happening that are completely out of your control. But there is one thing that you can control, and that's shaving your bush. Our sponsors at Manscaped are here to remind you to do so. Well, see, my big thing with shaving my balls is, people are like, Johnny Fairplay, how do you get laid? How do you get some action down there? And we're talking, there's 3 major things that can happen to down there. I don't know how to make that happen for you, but I do know what will help make that happen, and that's shaving your balls and cleaning up your butthole.
And what'll help is the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. It's a premium electric trimmer that's designed to give you a confident boost through body image. Their ceramic blade and skin-safe technology are designed to reduce nicks or tugs on your fellas down there. The Lawnmower 3.0 is also waterproof, and it comes with an LED light so you can manscape in the shower, in the dark, in a dark shower if you want, whatever floats your boat. They also just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is a perfect add-on to the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. Johnny, can you tell us about Shears 2.0?
Man, it is a luxury 4-piece nail kit. Just used it earlier today. And shaved my balls earlier today. Quite the day for me. I might take a nap now. It features tempered stainless steel tools, and it includes tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers and a medium grit nail file. Now, real quick on these fingernail clippers, they might be the most cutting edge, amazing nail clippers I've ever used in my entire life. The Sears 2.0 nail kit also allows you to pluck your eyebrows and trim your nails in style. On their website, you'll also find the Crop Preserver, and that's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. This will help tame that summer swamp ass with natural hydrators and antioxidants.
You'll also find a Crop Reviver. That's a testy toner that's like having cologne that's designed for your balls. We won't judge you if we catch you sniffing yourself. Go to manscaped.com and check out some of these life-changing products.
If I could sniff myself like that, I wouldn't be shaving my balls. I wouldn't need to.
Take a rib out.
There you have it. Get the Manscaped Rib Remover Kit. It's go to manscaped.com and check out these life-changing products. In fact, listeners of the show will get 20% off and free shipping with promo code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com.
That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code SURVIVOR. It's time to grab 2020 by the horns by shaving that front trunk.